Welcome back. Today I'm going to play some of the new February bots on chess.com. As some of you might have noticed, I'm going longer between videos and I've taken a lot longer to edit them than I used to. I'm not apologizing for it, I'm just pointing it out for those of you who didn't notice. But since this isn't my job, it's just something that I do for fun. When I find other things that are fun, I do those instead. But anyway, I still do like playing chess and I still do like making these videos. I'm going to do it once in a while. There are some new bots on chess.com for February, which are the Winter Athletes. But because there's a movie out on, I think, Netflix about Judith Polgar, they've added some Judith Polgar bots here. And they're listed at the top. I've noticed that the lowest rated one is 1350. That's the point at which I start losing to bots. It says when she was age 6. And then there's 1900 when she's age 9, and 2400 and 2600 and 2735, which I don't remember exactly. That may or may not have been her peak rating during her most active years of play. But I do know there was probably no point in Judith Polgar's life and no point in my life, which mostly overlapped as far as I know, at which I could have beaten her in chess. Probably not even at age 6. I'm going to play the Winter Athletes. I have been looking at a little bit of the Winter Olympics this year. I'm sure they'll be long over by the time I get this video edited. But anyway, they range from the curler rated 350 from Canada to the bobsled team from Jamaica rated 800. There's a figure skater rated 1350 from France. Then there's a snowboarder rated 1800 from the United States, and a goalie, I assume a hockey goalie, rated 2850 from Sweden. I'm going to start with the curler and work my way up, which is what I normally do with these new bots each month. I'm going to start with the white pieces and just click play, and I will play the Vienna game if it lets me. Oh, we're going to play the Sicilian. Okay, that's what's happening here. Let's see how the bot handles this. I'm going to try to fianchetto this bishop depending on what they do. Looks like they're probably making a play for the center. I don't know if I should play this yet or not, but I'm going to go ahead and fianchetto the bishop. And oh, they've brought that knight back. Is that normal? I have played against the Sicilian more recently than I used to, but still not enough, and I haven't found a good reason to study it. But I am going to go ahead and play d4, see if they take it. They didn't take it. Should I push forward then, or should I take that pawn? That pawn's currently undefended, but it wouldn't be too hard for them, to take that back, I think. Or should I just leave this here? Maybe get the bishop out in preparation for castling? I'm going to leave the d pawn where it is for just a second. I really don't know why they've moved their f pawn, but I'm going to try to castle here before too long, and then, oh, they did play that. Okay. Well, then I'll take here. They're going to take, and then I have to move this bishop again. Okay, so that was definitely a mistake on my part. I've lost a center pawn. Okay, let's take that with the knight, and then I will castle. That's pointed over here. I don't think I should worry about that just yet. Let's see, I don't have any really good attacks on that queen at the moment. Let's go ahead and castle so I can pull a rook over to the e-file. I assume that's to get this bishop out, but I just don't know. I can still attack the queen, but it's just going to move, and then I don't think I have anything at that point. Let's go ahead and put the rook on the e-file, then I'll work on getting some of these other pieces out, like maybe this knight, and maybe put it over here on f3. Maybe put this rook on c1, pointed with their queen straight through here. This 350 rated bot is definitely playing moves that aren't ideal, but they're not obvious blunders like hanging a queen or something like that. So I'm not really sure how to do anything about those moves. I am going to try to clear my c-file here and attack the queen. Okay, that can't be good, but I'm not sure what to do about it. Let's go ahead and take this pawn, see where they put their queen. They didn't put their queen anywhere, so I can just take it, which is a check, and then I'll get their bishop for free. Let's go ahead and take that bishop. Okay, well, now they've made obvious blunders, and now I think, I should have no trouble finishing this game off, I think. Let's be careful here. What do we want to do? I could bring the knight here, which is defended by this pawn. Wait, but that pawn's not defended. I was going to say, and then just trade the knight for the bishop, but then they can pick up this pawn. But I'm up 8 points of material, so I think I'm okay if they pick up that pawn. Let's see. They did not do what I expected. Well, the knight is still defended by my rook, so I'm wondering if I shouldn't start bringing another knight and then maybe advancing this pawn a little further, because then my queen will be guarding my d pawn. Let's try that, see what my opponent does. Okay, then I'm gonna advance the d pawn, which attacks the knight, tells it to move somewhere. It didn't move anywhere, so I'm gonna take it. And I probably should have taken the bishop first, but I didn't. Okay, now I can move this knight someplace, and it'll be a check from the rook. I can also check with the bishop. Where do I want to move that knight? Or is there a good place to move the knight? There really isn't that I see. Okay, I'm going to check here with this bishop, and then when they move, I guess I will take that bishop, and then can check them with this knight, which is that mate? Wait, is that checkmate with that knight? Because this knight's protected, and my two knights will be hitting this square, and this square, and this square. No, they'll have to come back, and then I'll have to move that knight again. Okay, well, let's do that. They had to come back. Now I can take the rook for the knight, and it's check from my rook, so I assumed they were going to take down there. And then I think this is checkmate. Is it not? No, it's not. Wow, I'm not very good at figuring out what checkmate is. Let's see. I got to bring my queen here, but my knight is in the way. Can I just get the knight out of the way somehow? Let's get the knight out of the way, and then I can bring my queen in here. Okay, well, I'm going to take their rook first. And then, let's see. If I check them, they'll just block with the knight. So what if I attack the knight while also attacking this pawn? Oh, they're just going to give me the knight. Okay, I will take the knight, and then we will figure out how to checkmate them. Okay, let's be careful. We don't want to stalemate, but they can still move pawns. So let's take this pawn. I assumed they were going to move that one, but I'm going to check first. And they still have legal pawn moves. So let's start bringing this knight, and we'll aim for in here, which I think is checkmate. Okay, finally. I thought some other things were checkmate, but they were not. I don't think we need to run the game review on this one because, as I pointed out earlier, the opponent made some obvious mistakes at the beginning. I just didn't know how to capitalize on them until they made the obvious mistake of giving up their queen. I clearly made some mistakes too, but I want to have time to go into the next bots. Let's do the Jamaican Bobsled Team rated 800, and this time I will play with the black pieces, and we'll see how this bot does, what it opens with. Okay, we got the d4 opening, which I really dislike against human opponents, but maybe this low-rated bot, will give me something to work with. Okay, what I've been doing is fianchettoing this bishop, but a lot of times they play the e-pawn here. They did not, but when they do, I have to worry about it coming for this knight. So I think if they play the e-pawn now, I have to play the d-pawn. They didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and castle. Now they didn't play the e-pawn yet. Okay. Well, then I'm still going to play this d-pawn so the knight has a place to go if they play their e-pawn, and we don't, I don't want to end up getting it attacked here because I'd take here and they would take here and I'd still have to move that knight. Let's push this bishop back, see which way it goes. A lot of my human opponents go that way. Okay, that's what they did. Should I keep chasing it? I don't know. I don't want to get rid of all the pawns in front of my king. Let's pin that knight there. See if that helps us at all. Okay, and then attack this bishop. And attack the bishop again. See where it goes. It's going to let me trade here for the knight. That knight I shouldn't be too worried about. Now I have to be worried about their rook being open, I guess. Let's see, where is that knight going? There's nowhere it can go from there. What'll they do if I bring this bishop back and attack that knight? Nothing? Oh, they moved it back. I guess I can double their pawns, but I don't know. I like having this fianchettoed bishop here. Also, it's the only thing protecting that pawn. I should leave it alone, shouldn't I? Let's go ahead and play e5. Will they take with en passant? They did not take with en passant. Okay. Then where that queen is aiming here, or they're going to put the bishop here first and then be aiming down here. Okay, so I need to think about that. You know what? Let's go ahead and play another pawn here and then attack that knight, see where it goes. It did not go anywhere. Okay, then I will take that knight. I would like it if they took this pawn, then I could put my bishop here attacking their queen. Or I could just take their pawn when they take back, then I can take and then bring the bishop back and attack their queen. But they can move that pawn, probably. Okay, well, let's take this pawn, see what my opponent does. Okay, they did take there. I am going to attack their queen. I assume they're going to push this pawn, and then I will bring my bishop back. They didn't take that pawn. Okay, there's their big mistake that told me I'm winning. If they made mistakes before that, I don't know about it. They did move up to protect this pawn, which was, I guess, in danger from my rook. This pawn is defended, but not if I take the knight first. What if I take the knight first, and then this pawn is undefended? I'll just take that. I assume they're going to bring their rook over. That's what a human opponent would do here. They did not. That looks bad. But you know what? What if I attacked their rook first by going here, and then when they move that rook, I'll get this pawn? Yeah, and this is a check, so I should end up... No, they're going to block with the rook. They didn't block with the rook. Okay, well then I'm going to take it. Now they're going to move this pawn. Oh no, they didn't. I thought they were going to move this pawn so that they would have an attack on my rook down here. But they did not. They took a free pawn, so I guess good for them. I think I will also take a free pawn. I guess it's time to get my other rook out. Let's get the other rook out here. I'm intending to bring the knight. Oh, they've given me their rook. Okay, well, this is not a stalemate because they have pawns and bishops that can move. I'm going to start watching out for that. Bots in this range very often look for stalemates. Okay, well, that's what's keeping it from being a stalemate is the fact that they have pawns to move. Let's bring some knights in here. Okay, check. They have to come out and then check. And they have to go back and then check. Okay, that was checkmate. I beat the bobsled team. Well, I beat the bobsled team at chess, to be clear. I probably could not beat any bobsled team at bobsledding. Not probably. I definitely couldn't beat any bobsled team at bobsledding because I don't know the first thing about it other than they go down a chute. All right, I do have time to play the third February bot or the third Winter Athletes bot, which is the figure skater rated 1350. I will say that out of all the Winter Olympic sports, figure skating is the one that I least enjoy watching. No, that's incorrect. Curling is the one I least enjoy watching, and then figure skating. But figure skating is the one that my wife most enjoys watching, so I do end up seeing a bit of it. And they had some pretty good ones this year. Impressive, at least, you know, in their abilities. Obviously, I don't know the first thing about figure skating, but you know, they looked like they were really talented. Anyway, I'm going to play with the white pieces to switch it back and forth. I will play e4. Oh, we're going to get the Sicilian again. Wait, do all the Olympic athletes play the Sicilian? I don't know. I don't know if they play chess at all, for that matter. Oh, right. Wait, I can just take that with this bishop and check. Okay, so I just got a pawn. I guess I can take that too. Oh, let's take that and then castle, and then I'm ahead. I mean, you know, a little bit. I'm a pawn ahead. I don't know if I'm actually like winning or anything, but I'm a pawn ahead. Oh, I was hoping they would try to fianchetto their bishop there, but this bot's a little too good for that. What do we need to do now? They have multiple pieces guarding there, but I do too. So I should play d5 now. Sorry, d4, correct? I'm going to play d4 and see if they take it. Then I'll take with the knight and see if they want to trade with their knight for my knight. They did not. Well, do I want to trade for them? Since I'm a pawn ahead, is that a good idea? Don't know. I think I do, but I really don't know. Let's go ahead and do it and then, you know, get this knight out somewhere. Should I go ahead and play this pawn first? Wait, nothing's defending that pawn. Let's defend that pawn. Oh, no, there's still nothing defending it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they have two pieces attacking it. They could have just taken it there. What am I thinking? Okay, now I've got pieces defending it. And then I'm going to move this up so that they won't try to barrel through. It looked like they were trying to take my c-pawn when they lined their rook up with their queen. Should I try to shimmy my queen out here? I assume that's bad. They're just going to defend the knight immediately with that bishop. You know what? Let's put this rook on c1, giving some extra protection for this going forward. They did do that. So yeah, the queen to f3 probably would have been pointless, but I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and play h3, not only to keep the knight from coming here, but also to give the king an out a little bit later. Although I realized that was probably a mistake because they have a dark squared bishop, which could eventually point there. Okay, so maybe we need to trade for the dark squared bishop. I'm going to put my queen on f3 since they've pulled their bishop back. See if they put it there again. They might. They did not. They attacked my undefended knight. That's probably pretty good, right? I mean, for them, not for me necessarily. But you know what? What if they take it? You're right. And what if I take their knight and they take my knight? Then I'll take their rook with check, and they'll get out of check. Oh, and then I'll have to move my queen, and it might get stuck. What if I take their knight and they take my knight? No, I should just defend my knight. I'm just going to defend my knight. Okay. Oh, they took it anyway. Well, I'm going to take back, and then now their knight's in trouble. Okay, they moved their knight because it was in trouble. Well, now the h3 is looking pretty smart because they gave up their dark squared bishop for my knight. But I don't know what to do. What's a good idea? Should I put a rook on a semi-open? Should I line my rooks up on the semi-open file? Let's line the rooks up on the semi-open file. We're aiming at this pawn. See what they made no move to protect it. They are aiming here, which would attack my queen. But what if I attacked their queen first? Let's attack their queen first. Oh, they took the pawn with their queen. Okay. Oh, well, that was pretty smart for them, I guess. So let's take their queen. It'll double this pawn, and then I'll get their A pawn or that pawn. Let's get that pawn first, their backward E pawn, and I'm aiming at the rook, which I don't think can escape. It cannot. So let's go ahead and take it, and then they've moved there, presumably to attack my bishop. But what if I moved the bishop back to, how far back? All the way back? Let's move it all the way back to b2. It is guarding that. Oh, they want to trade more pieces. Well, I'm pretty far up on material now. So let's go ahead and take there. And then see where are they wanting to come in here or here? I don't know. They might not want to come in there at all. But I am going to move this pawn just in case they were thinking about coming in here. And then I'm going to attack their knight, which also attacks this pawn. So they did not make... I thought they were going to go back there to defend it, but they didn't. So I'm going to take that pawn. And then... You know what? I want to go ahead and clear off that e-pawn too. So let's go ahead and clear off this e-pawn this way. And they still have a couple of moves to make here, but I'm going to have to be pretty careful. Knights are tricky, and it's down there by their king. So I'm going to have a difficult time checkmating unless I just push pawns and go get a queen, right? Maybe I should just go get a queen. Oh, they did that. Okay. Going to keep coming? Are they going to try to get in front of it? They did not. I'm going to keep coming. Now they're going to try to get in front of it. Maybe. They didn't. Okay. Well, I can't move it again yet. So let's keep going with more pawns. They move. Oh, they're going to attack my rook. Okay. Good job, I guess. I guess just pull it back and then I can get behind my A pawn. But yeah, now they can take that. Okay. Good job. Move this up one and... Now put the rook behind the A-pawn. Oh, I'll take that one first. Oh, now I can just move the A-pawn. I'll take that one first. We're not in danger of a stalemate. They have all these squares over here they can move around in. Okay, I'll move that one more. They did get in front of it. Okay, well, then let's start pushing this one. Push the bishop over here, which encourages them to move that knight. And then keep going. And take that, and then I'll get my queen, and my rook is trapping their king in all those squares over there. So let's get a queen, and then bring it over here to the F file, or no, let's just bring it all the way to the G file, and see which way their king wants to go. Oh, it wanted to hide behind the pawn. Okay, well, I'm going to check with the rook. I think it'll take the pawn. I think it has to take the pawn. Then check with the queen. And the bishop. I want the bishop to get in on the fun, because why not, right? Check with the rook, and check with the bishop, which should be mate. Okay, I very rarely mate with a bishop, so I did beat this one, and I have just enough time to look at the game review, because I don't think I played it extremely well until the bot just started blundering. So, you know, thank you, Figure Skater, for focusing on figure skating and leaving the chess to me. Oh, it says I played really well. I didn't have any mistakes or blunders. I did have one miss, which looks like it came way over here. Right after the bot made a mistake going up to +5 or so, then I made a miss, which took us down to +2 or so. Okay, so I played a lot better than I thought. I played like a 20-50. Wow. Well, that doesn't happen very often, so, you know, give me a moment to be pleased with myself. Let's look at the analysis board. Okay, the bot blundered early. I thought that was at least an inaccuracy when the bot played b5. I obviously didn't know it was a blunder, because before that we were at very, very close to even, and after that it's around +2, getting close to +2. Okay, and taking with the bishop was the best move, but not the only move. I could have played d4 and still been up more than +1. Interesting. Okay, well, I did take it, and then they were supposed to block with the bishop. Was I supposed to take it? Yes. Okay, so I'm up still +1.7 something. I took with the queen, and then I castled. Oh, was that my best move? It's very, very close. I could have fianchettoed the other bishop or castled. Okay, best move. I was about to say my next move was the best move too, because it showed bishop to b2 there for just a moment, but then it switched to rook to e1 and d4. But I think bishop to b2 was right up there. It's still 1.7. Best move. Oh, it wanted me to take that immediately. Not sure about that. Or e1, which is rated about the same. Okay, d4 is not listed on the top 2 this time. Was it that bad? It was a little bit worse. We're down to 1.5. Okay, they are supposed to take it. I'm supposed to take with the knight. Okay, they were supposed to take back. I just didn't know it. But they could have taken the e-pawn, which I left undefended, or the knight, either way. But instead, they just played that, which allowed me to do this, my best move. Now I'm up +2. Of course, they take it with the queen, and here I should have played rook to e1 to defend my e-pawn. Wait, I did that, though. Yeah, I did that. But then I realized they still had 2 pieces on it. They weren't supposed to take it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm up +2 because I'm still up just the 1 pawn and I've given it back, right? If they just take that with the knight right now, I'm not going to take it with my rook. What would be so bad if they did that? Now I would play queen to f3, but then they would play d5 to protect the knight. But then I would play c4 to deflect that pawn. Then they would put their queen over here, and then I would take that pawn. But they would take my queen, and I would take their queen, messing up the pawn structure around my castled king. Well, okay. Not sure about that. I don't know why they didn't take the pawn there, and I don't know why it's not their best move, but it's not. Rook to c8 or bishop to e7 was their best move, but instead they played a6. Okay, c4. Oh, I should have played this first. I figured out just a little bit later, but first I realized that I hadn't defended that pawn, so I thought it was important to put the knight on it. It was not important to put the knight on it. That took my thing down a little bit. Rook to c8 is still there. They moved there. c4 is what I played now, but now it's not my best move. Now queen to f3. Okay, not sure why, but I played c4. It's still around +2. Okay, g6 was not their good move. They should have just gotten this bishop out immediately, but instead, because they did that, oh, queen to f3, because here's where I said I should go there to threaten the knight, but they would just defend it. But it says they would actually defend it the other way, and then I would put that knight back. I would put the only knight I have back on the square I just moved it from. Why? Why would I do that? Somebody help me with there, but this is where I played rook to c1 because I wanted it lined up, but I'm still above +2. Bishop to g7 was not among their moves. They should have gone to h6 or e7, but they did what I thought they were going to do, so I'm going to give this spot points for playing a little bit more like a human. Queen to f3 again. I should have done it anyway. I really don't know why. Or queen to e2 even. Don't know why that either. I did that. And I think I explained why, and they are supposed to play castles or a5. They did not. They pushed the bishop back, which I felt was weird. Okay, queen to f3 is still among my top 2, and I finally played it to see what they would do with their bishop. This time they are supposed to defend here or bring the knight back, but they played over here where they should have played earlier, and this is where I missed. I should have taken the knight now, and I explained myself out of it during the game. How did I do that? I said if I took it, they would take here, and then I would take their rook. They would get out of check. I would have to move my queen because of the rook there, and then they would get one of my rooks. But it says that's fine. I would just take this pawn. They wouldn't take one of my rooks. I don't know why. Why wouldn't they take one of my rooks? Because I would take back. I'm up +6, even though I just have one extra piece. I guess that's because of king safety. I'm not sure. That's how I talked myself out of it, but I think I should have talked myself into it because I get a knight, they get a knight, I get a rook, they get out of check, I get a pawn, they get a rook, and I get a bishop. So I would have gotten an extra piece and a pawn, and I didn't do the math during the game. Okay, I protected the knight instead. Now we're back down to +2 point something. They were supposed to get that knight out of danger. I'm not sure why not the bishop back here. But they took my knight instead, which I kind of thought that they were going to do. I'm only a pawn ahead here, and this is a fairly even exchange. But now I'm at +5, even if they play their best move, which is knight to h5. But instead they went down here, and suddenly I'm up +6, even though I'm still only up 1 pawn. No, I don't understand it at all. Wow. And I was going to say, yeah, neither one of us made a mistake for the rest of the game. Just one little inaccuracy on the bot's part several moves later. So how am I up +6 here? I don't know. But I did play the absolute best move that keeps me at +6, which was rook e to d1. Okay, well, good for me, because I didn't know what to do, and I went back to the principles that I've learned over the last couple of years, and one of those is to put rooks on open files. It's not a fully open file because there aren't any on this board, but it's a semi-open file because I don't have any pawns on this file. It's the only file that I don't have any pawns on, and that pawn is now very vulnerable. They should have gotten the knight back out again, but instead they played f5, which the game review thought was best. The game review thought that was best, but Stockfish is saying d5 or knight to e7, but I'm guessing f5 was pretty close because we're still around +6. Okay, and I was supposed to take on d6. I wondered about that because when they took here with their queen, I was a little surprised, but I still was supposed to take on d6. They were not supposed to take on e4. Wait, the game review thought that was best? But no, Stockfish here in a deeper depth than the game review, which I just noticed is Stockfish 18. That's a new version, isn't it? At least since the last time I looked up there. They were supposed to move the queen to c5 or knight to e7. Wait, if they moved it to knight to e7, I would have just taken their queen. But at least here I just took one of their pawns. They're taking one of my pawns back, and then we trading queens, and they take here. So how am I up +6? I'm still just up 1 pawn. Now, a couple of ways in which I know that I'm ahead of them. One is my king safety. Their king is completely exposed, stuck in the middle. My king is, behind these pawns. Another way is that they have 2 pawns doubled in the middle of the board. And I guess another way is that one of those pawns is undefended and undefendable, I think. Does that add up to +6, nearly +7? Doesn't feel like it, because now I'm up 2 pawns once I take that, and I'm threatening their rook. Their best move was knight to e7, but now I get the rook for the bishop, so okay. Now I can see how I'm ahead, because now I'm up a whole piece and 2 pawns. Okay, so backing up. So even though this was their best move, so that's why way back here, I'm up +6 point something, nearly +7, is because they don't have any way to get out of this. Or do they? Because it said they should play queen to c5. Why didn't they play queen to c5? And then what would I have done? It says I would have played rook 6 to d5. This one. I don't know if I would have or not. I might have brought the other one up. Okay, so what if I had played that? Then would they go back? If they had gone back, I wasn't supposed to chase again. Now I would take this pawn, and their rook is undefendable. That's what I was failing to see at that point to know that I was that far ahead, is that after all of this, their rook was undefendable. I did figure out the pawn was free, and then I realized they couldn't defend the rook. So I'm just a few moves behind everybody else, apparently. Okay, well, that was fun. I don't have enough time to go into the next bot. I do appreciate you spending your time here, as always, and I hope to be back pretty soon. I'll see you next time.